December 2018, my last day of class, that's when I decided to pick up all my stuff and move to Vancouver. I had a business partner at the time. We were going to start a new business together. So my idea was I'm going to move to Vancouver, take up a job just to pay all the bills and build the business while we're there. That was the plan. And immediately when I moved to Vancouver, everything is so much more expensive. I didn't really know anyone in the whole city. So it was just a complete fresh start from zero. I found a place in Vancouver and immediately the rent was twice as much, and especially the amount of money I was making at the time, it was barely enough for me to meet my expenses, and I was really relying heavily on my credit cards to really pay everyday bills, right? But I wanted to make the most of the situation. Come January, come March, I was doing a lot of things in the city because I wanted to meet new people. I didn't really know anyone, so I started taking up martial arts classes. I took up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes that I still do to this day. I started taking salsa dancing classes. I started taking classes for improv comedy and just things in different areas that I had never tried before, right? And my whole idea was the more things I do, the more places I'll make friends, right? Now, in this whole adventure of mine where I'm trying to make my own business, there were a lot of these what if this happens, what if that doesn't happen, what if my business plan doesn't go through, but I didn't really have a plan B. It was either make it work or not make it work. But when you're working full time, it's really hard to put in all of your time and energy into your side projects, so sometimes you'd forget and you'd be a little lazy about it. So what happened was after I graduated, I decided there's so many students coming into TRU who are looking into TRU for information and they can only find so much. I just graduated. I like helping people. My degree was in education. Why don't I just make a video about my experience in TRU? And I put that video out, and a couple of months later, it had a couple of thousand views, and I was very, very surprised to see how many people were getting benefit out of it. So I decided, okay, I'll make another video, and I'll make another video. But of course, as someone who's working full-time, as someone who's trying to make friends in a new city, and as someone who's actively trying to build a business, it wasn't really sustainable for me to push out videos again and again and again, and I kind of got demotivated by that as well, especially if there are people in the university whose job it is to provide this information, right? But I did it because I felt like I would have needed that information if I was coming to campus. So about 4 months, 5 months into it, we were in April or May now, it became very obvious to me that the business plan we had in mind is not going to get off the ground. Nothing's really happening. I'm kind of stuck in this job that I'm really grateful that I have, but it's not really what I want to do with my life. I want to do something more in terms of talking to people or helping them in some way. That's what I really wanted to do, right? And I was in the service industry. So around that time, I actually went back to Kamloops for my graduation ceremony. That was in about June. And in June, I was extremely surprised when I came to campus and people recognized me from my videos. There were students who had watched my videos and they came to TRU because of it. And there were people who were already at TRU who were very familiar with the stuff I was putting out. And there were some faculty members, some staff members who actually came up to me in my graduation and told me about the videos and how they're helping students across the world. And I had never thought that my videos were having this much of an impact. I just thought I was a guy on YouTube with a video out there, right? And then they were asking me, so what are you doing? You obviously look very successful, blah, blah, blah. And in the back of my mind, I was like, well, I'm not really doing a whole lot. I don't really have much planned. And everyone seemed very surprised by that because I had done a lot in university. I had done a lot after university. I was still giving back to it, but I didn't have a proper job. So that really got me thinking, what am I doing working in this job that I'm not really passionate about? I'm not really giving it 100%. So it's really because of the appreciation I got from you guys and from people who were watching my videos that I really started to double think my life choices. I went back to Vancouver and I thought to myself, ever since I've graduated, I haven't even applied to a single place because I thought my business was going to work out, right? So immediately after, I came back in June. I started applying to jobs, so many jobs, and then I reached out to a lot of people who had graduated from TRU, and I asked them for advice. I also went to a career mentor, and she was extremely helpful. I got my resume made correctly, and I started applying to a lot of different places, right? And I started getting called for interviews as well. I got called to a couple of universities for interviews, actually. It was unfortunate I couldn't meet their requirements in terms of the specific requirements they had around transportation accommodation. I don't drive around here, so I couldn't really fit into that role. But I kept applying, and a lesson I learned was that networking doesn't really stop at networking events or people you know. You kind of have to ask or at least tell people about what you're looking for. And I've talked about this in my previous video as well. I was fresh out of an interview and I hadn't gotten the job. This was around late July. And I was still feeling that grind. Oh my God, I've applied to so many places, but I haven't gotten a job yet. And at the gym, there was someone I was doing martial arts with. We were grappling. And afterwards, he just happened to ask, so what are you doing in Vancouver? What are you looking for? And I just mentioned, oh, you know what? I'm looking for something in my industry. This is what my experience is. And that person happened to be from that industry, and this company happened to be hiring. So had I not mentioned that, the job I have now would never have happened. So, of course, I sent in my resume. I went through a rigorous interview process, and I'm happy to say that I did get the job. And not only that, I got the job with working with people that I really admire and working alongside people that I can see myself working with in the near future. And I'm learning so much about the industry I'm interested in, and it also helps me understand how to help students coming in, how to help people who are in my situation looking for jobs, right? So if there's anything 1 year of graduation has taught me, it's always have a plan B, or at least have a plan A that you even implemented, right? So for example, your side business should be your side business until it's your full-time business. You should always have a full-time thing planned. I wasn't thinking in terms of I'll need a full-time job to get a permanent residency, all of that. I was more like, okay, I need to get this thing off the ground as soon as possible. Don't be afraid to reach out to people for help, and don't think that only certain places you will meet people who can help you out. Like, I got my job at a gym. The idea for me to start a YouTube channel came from my salsa class. I met someone there who happened to be a dance instructor on YouTube, and he was taking up the same dance class I was. So I just asked him, hey, how did you start your YouTube channel? What strategies did you use to gain additional views, additional subscribers? And he went out of his way to help me set up my YouTube channel. Who would have thought that if I went to a salsa dance class, I would have learned how to make a YouTube channel, and let alone be where I am now at upwards of 1,000 subscribers a few months later. So it's really about exposing yourself to as many different areas of life as you can, especially when you've graduated and you're looking for new opportunities. And of course, it all takes time and patience. Now, I've spent about a year away from Kamloops, a year outside a university. I've been earning for myself. I've been completely financially independent. It's just a really good feeling of being able to take care of yourself. And I wouldn't have been able to do any of this if I hadn't had your support, if I hadn't had people from TRU, hadn't had my viewers reach out to me about how much of an impact my videos are making. So I really want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for really reaching out and showing the support that you have been showing. And it's really given me the urge to continue making these videos. You've probably seen how many videos I'm putting out, because I know they're having an impact on at least one person who's watching it, and I hope you continue to get value out of this video. So let me know what your New Year resolution for 2020 will be. I'll be sharing mine as well, and as always, I hope this gave you some value. If it did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.